Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Straight back, fresh back from Vegas. In fact, it's still dark out, but here I am to tell you guys what it was like at the PCGS members only show in Las Vegas at the Park MGM. And speaking of coin shows, of course, as always, TucsonCoinshow.com. Thank you to the Coin Geek, Old Pueblo Coin, and Stacks Bowers for supporting the show. We appreciate it, along with all of our local support. Here we go, guys. Vegas, baby, Vegas. Well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for the fact that I brought a bunch of coins back for you to see, and that'll be tomorrow's entertainment. We will go through a whole litany of new purchases that I'm bringing back from Vegas. First of all, we're going to do a vehicle review because I rented a vehicle, and usually I go utilitarian, whatever's cheapest, and I got a truck of all things because that's what was cheapest, and actually a Tacoma, and I was really intrigued. I've never driven a modern Tacoma, and as someone who hasn't been in a truck in a long time, can I just say, what's going on? Like, I want to get in a truck and sit in it. I don't want to sit down like in a race car. Like, and there's not enough room for people or material in back. It's just not very utilitarian as far as I can tell. But hey, I looked good. Not because I looked good, but because the truck looked good. So there's that. Vegas is a wild place where everything happens, anything can happen. And Vegas, I hope everyone in Vegas appreciates the fact that people are willing to come there, give them all of their money, leave, and then say, you know what, I'm going to go back again. That's fantastic. What a way to be. So the PCGS Member Show, for those of you who don't know, is a show that is actually put on 3 to 4 times a year, dependent, by PCGS, the grading company, at different locations. You have to go to their website, and oftentimes, if it's not appearing right away, you can search Members Only Show, and it'll pop up whatever is coming next. You can kind of search their website that way. Hats off to the PCGS crew for making the show delightful as always. This show is not like any other show you will attend. You have to be a member of PCGS, so PCGS sells memberships. That is usually what you'll do is you buy a membership that gives you the right to send coins directly to PCGS for grading, and usually the cost of the membership is offset by grading fees. So in other words, they usually give you enough grading vouchers to pay for the actual membership fee. So you can go in, they have on-site, their crew's there, and you can submit coins directly with their crew. You hand them in there with the submission form. They walk you through things if you don't know how to do it. And if you get coins in early enough, you get coins back by the end of the show. The show itself is open to the public Wednesday through Friday. I will say if you want to have your coins back by Friday, you probably got to get them in first thing Wednesday morning. Dealers are getting there usually on Tuesday and can drop coins off that early and can hopefully get them back by the end of the show. Now, they get a lot of submissions, so there's actually not a guarantee that you'll get them back by the end of the show. This show is very different also because they feed you, and so they don't just feed the dealers. If you were there attending the show, they have a breakfast and a lunch and an afternoon delight. So usually it'll be, ice cream or something like that, gelato, whatever. And that's all very hospitable. It's also not like most coin shows that you go to because it usually only has about 20 to 30 dealers, somewhere in that range. Most dealers, I think all the dealers only get one table, so they'll have 2 or 3 cases. And yet you can actually see quite a bit of stuff. It's probably somewhat devoid of world paper money and possibly banknotes. I had some banknotes with me. Noah at Rarity 7 had some banknotes with him. Other than that, I didn't see many banknotes, but you do see a pretty wide variety of stuff. You'll have the guys that have high-end gold. You'll have the guys that have all kinds of classic numismatic. I actually was set up next to a world and ancient dealer, Glenn Shanky. Glenn had, his normal spread of just interesting things. So there was a little bit of everything there at the show that you could look at and pick from. A lot of you have asked what my take is in general on the Vegas show, and I tell people in general, if you are already a PCGS member and someone somewhere in your life says, hey, let's go to Vegas. If the timing doesn't matter, it's definitely worth doing the show at least once. Not only is the food there, but also, you know, as I've traveled more, when I get out to see places that, you know, larger cities, you're going to spend $150 to $200 a night for just an average hotel. And they have room rates, which you can get directly from the website and use. And the rooms will be a couple $100s a night. And I know that's not cheap, but also you're not staying at a cheap place. Like, the hotel is really, really nice. And so I just think it's nice once in a while, despite my utilitarian ways, it's nice once in a while to live a little bit and just feel like this is kind of nice, you know? So I think it's a fun experience to go and do with your spouse, if that's the case. Maybe you're going to meet some friends in Vegas. It's a good way to get to see Vegas in a way that's a little bit less expensive, but you get to do it a little bit on the high end, if you will, right? So a couple of quick shout outs. First of all, thank you to everyone who stopped by, but also thank you to Gary on bus number 27. Okay, so the guy who drove the bus, for those who've never been to Vegas, so the car rental place is a bus drive away from the airport. And when I was going back from the rental place, this guy, he wanted to load everyone's bags for him. He was funny. He was friendly. You know, it was just awesome. It was the best experience I've ever had on a bus. So thank you to Gary on bus 27. Good luck to anyone out there. I hope you get Gary on bus 27 if you ever travel in Vegas. I've also had a lot of people ask me if I gamble, and I tell them, you know, I got married and have kids. So as far as the actual gambling thing though goes, by the way, I didn't gamble at all. I do know a guy who got in trouble, not in trouble, but caught card counting, I guess. I didn't even know how to do that, but so there's that. My recommendation is that you spend $20 on the airport on your way out of town, and that's your limit. That way you don't have to overspend. All right, so how was the attendance, and how were sales, and how was the market? Those are the questions that we always try to get into when we look at this. So the attendance from my eyes was higher the first day of the show than a year ago. I think it was very well attended on Wednesday. This is my takeaway from most shows, is that the highest attendance, no matter what day of the week it is the first day of attendance. It doesn't seem to matter what day of the week it is. Some of these mega shows, they start on a Tuesday, and the Tuesday will be the busiest. And the logic is, well, if its last day is Friday, well, the Friday people might be able to get out of work. It's like, well, no, if they're coming out of work, they're already there, right? So Wednesday was the busiest day. Thursday was not as busy, and Friday was a little quiet. A couple of the dealers had already left by Friday. The attendance wasn't as good, but also attendance and sales are not linear things. They don't always work together. So I actually did more retail sales on the last day of the show when I had when there was clearly not that many people around. And so for me, retail was best on the slowest day. This is the other thing that's fun to me about the show. You know, usually I don't advise you go on the last day of the show. If you're going to make a show, try to make the first 1 or 2 days. But what I will say is, you know, if that's a 3-day show, that's kind of a thing. What I will say is that what's nice about this show is that you can spend time with a dealer. Dealers can spend time with customers. So when I'm at one of the larger shows and the room is busy and crowded, you feel there's people like stacking up at your table, so to speak. You feel rushed when you're trying to deal with somebody. And I don't like that feeling. But in this show, I never really feel rushed. People come around and they come back around. And thankfully for the people who happen to be in Vegas, I had people that I didn't see on Wednesday. I did a live stream Thursday night, and a couple of guys commented, "Hey, I was here. I didn't get to see you because I was talking to somebody." And the big takeaway from the show is that I talk a lot. And so, but they came back, you know, on Thursday, and it was a pleasure meeting them, and also made a couple of sales, which is nice because at the end of the day, I found new homes for old things, you know, and it was good. It was good. I love finding a home for a customer, you know, a home for a coin to a customer to get something they want for their inventory, for their collection. To me, that's just kind of a fun part of the business. How are sales? What was selling? What's not selling? Something that people ask. I think the market is generally still good. You know, we are not in a downward market anymore, so to speak. Well, how do I put this? So the market seems to level out a little bit as far as numismatics goes. Now, you've got these what I call crazy gold prices at $2,700 an ounce, and silver over 30. And so those affect parts of the market. But the numismatics section is the same as it's kind of been for a while, which is to say, we had a pullback post-COVID, but also good eye appeal coins are strong. You know, things that have had strong demand generally for the last year still have strong demand, right? We haven't seen some strange sell-off in any area of the market currently. You know, we have seen over the last couple, year and a half, some of the things that had gone up really high come down. We've talked about that here before with things like Carson City GSAs, things of that nature that had really shot up. But for the most part, things are still strong. There is still a lot of dealers competing for better inventory. And this is what you'll see, I think, moving forward, is that as long as you have good quality inventory, things that have good eye appeal, they'll sell. You know, for those of you who don't, if you're just buying kind of average stuff, sight unseen, it might be harder to sell some stuff, especially if it's more commonplace. Coins that are kind of in the sub $1,000 range, I think, are coins that always sell easiest. That is just something that I think is a truism altogether. That's why with gold so high, it's kind of difficult, because even you can stretch that to $2,000, and that's, obviously that's a lot of money, but also it feels like there's always been a decent amount of buyers in that price range, from 2,000 and under. But with gold going over that, it's really affected parts of the market, because gold coins in particular, you're not really seeing, you're seeing guys kind of shy away. And I mean, when I say that, I mean the consumer is kind of shying away a little bit from stuff, because all of a sudden a $20 gold piece, which used to be $1,800, is now $2,800. And that gives you like whiplash. You're like, whoa, what just happened here? Just watching the prices move that quickly. So that is something that is a little bit different in the marketplace in general. All right, so guys, I don't know exactly when I'll be doing another show besides the Tucson show. I hope to see you guys in January. Thank you to everyone who stopped by and said hi, and we will see you next time. I look forward to sharing my new purchases with you. Until next time, I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.